हमारे वक्त की धड़कन हमारा हमारे वक्त की धड़कन हमारा चिंतन, हमारी भावनाएं, हमारे विचार, कभी कोमल बातचीत तो कभी इंटरेक्शन तेज तर्रार। तय करें मिलकर व्हाट इज रॉन्ग, व्हाट इज राइट। ITV पर अशोक व्यास के साथ इनसाइट टुनाइट।
नमस्कार, मैं अशोक व्यास। कार्यक्रम का नाम इनसाइट टुनाइट विद अशोक व्यास और आज का दिन शुक्रवार 21 मार्च 2014। हर दिन अपने आप में कुछ विशेषताएं लेकर आता है और कुछ दिन हमें ले जाते हैं यादों की तरफ, खास करके एक ऐसे कारण से जोड़ते हुए जो हमें याद दिलाता है एक व्यक्तित्व की, एक ऐसा व्यक्तित्व जिसने लगभग पूरी शताब्दी भारत को अपना बौद्धिक योगदान दिया, कल हमसे विदा हो गया। आपने वो लतीफा सुना हो अगर, जिसमें एक शराबी को यह कहा जाता है कि शराब स्लो पॉइजन है, मत पिया करो, और वो कहे कि अरे जल्दी किसे है। ये बात सिर्फ लतीफे की शक्ल में नहीं बल्कि जिसके जीवन में भी एक तरह से देखी जा सकती थी उस शख्स ने जब अपने 99 बरस की उम्र में अंतिम दिन सांस ली, तब भी सबसे पहला काम उन्होंने जो किया था उसमें एक ये भी शामिल था दैट he had his favorite malt whiskey. Yes, I'm talking about none other than the author of Train to Pakistan and someone who not only led unconventional life but was also known to be a very colorful personality. और आप में से जो भारत में उन दिनों रहे जब 1969 से 1978 तक एक बहुत प्रचलित अंग्रेजी का वीकली था द इलस्ट्रेटेड वीकली ऑफ इंडिया, उसके एडिटर थे खुशवंत सिंह। Today, as we look back at the life of this giant who contributed in various ways through his writings, through his intellectual understanding, through very detailed research-oriented work, which now when we look back looks like what kind of a work it must have been, because in the internet era बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे पास यूं उंगलियों पर सुलभ हो जाती हैं. So today when we remember Khushwant Singh, I thought of connecting with this friend of mine who has also been voracious reader, and he has admired Khushwant Singh, and as a child he tried to walk to go on his bicycle near the house of Khushwant Singh कि उनकी एक झलक दिखाई दे जाए. So let me have the pleasure of welcoming from Delhi author and journalist, rather he is a freelance writer and a columnist, Sudhir Bisht. Sudhir, welcome to Inside Tonight with Ashok Vyas, and today I would like you to remember this giant personality. You have been in Delhi all along, and this person whom we lost yesterday, one of his book was also about Delhi. So when you remember Khushwant Singh, what is it that comes to your mind?
Thank you, Ashok ji, for this opportunity. I view the passing away of Khushwant Singh ji as passing away of an era. Although it is a very cliched thing to say, but if you really see the sprightly old man, and I'm even tempted to say the sprightly young man, despite all his years, which is 99 years, he was one of the liveliest and one of the man who was very, very young at heart, in spite of his age. He was a prolific writer. His passing away is an event in itself, because we will not read the columns which we are used to reading at least once in a week. But I would like to view his passing away as an event when I reflect upon how much he achieved in his long life. And most of his life was spent very creatively. And he touched upon so many lives in his lifetime by way of his writings and by way of his being in public due to whatever reasons. And in fact, I have tweeted today that the dirtiest mind but the cleanest heart is no more. Long live malice. This is my tribute to Sardar Khushwant Singh ji. And while it is okay to feel sad at someone's passing away, especially someone who was as dear to me, because I'm a big fan of Khushwant Singh ji, I would look at celebrating his life and taking inspiration from Khushwant Singh ji.
So taking inspirations from Khushwant Singh ji, of course, is important for all of us. And when we look at the legacy of this great man who always portrayed a different kind of image than the real disciplined and hardworking gentleman that he was. He started writing later on. Initially, he wanted to become a musician, and he did learn sitar, and there were many events in his life that led him to discover that creative space, and that was probably a Kasoli. So when you look at his life as a source of inspiration, then what is it that comes to your mind? Sudhir, talking about inspiration from his life.
If you would give me, with your permission, if I can go back to my childhood days, I read one of his first stories, which was called The Mark of Vishnu. And in this book, The Mark of Vishnu, I read it when I was in standard 7th, and I studied at Kendriya Vidyalaya. I was never attracted to English fiction. I was more into Hindi fiction, and while Hindi fiction still remains something closest to my heart, it was through Khushwant Singh ji and R.K. Narayanan that I was drawn into reading the English books by Indian authors. What impressed me about The Mark of Vishnu was he was telling a story, and at that point in time, Khushwant Singh ji was in his 40s, and he was narrating it in he wrote a lot about the Sikh religion, and he was not a religious person per se. He was a deeply agnostic person who did not believe in the existence of God. And yet when he wrote about religion, as if he was one of the most religious person on the earth. So as a writer, he was completely involved in his character, and he wrote from the heart using the most creative part of his brain. And this is something which is truly inspirational for me. You get immersed, whatever you want to do, you do your complete research. You solve all the complicated jigsaw of a story, but you present the story in a form which is very, very readable. One more thing about Mr. Khushwant Singh is that he was not afraid. He was not afraid to talk about, to write about something which was a taboo, so to say. If you have read the novel Delhi, he is writing that novel as a first person, and the protagonist is a eunuch and a hijra. And for somebody to write from the perspective of a hijra or a eunuch or a bisexual is, you really have to do a lot of research, and you really have to get into the skin of that character to be writing about that and narrating the story in first person. So it was a very brave attempt, and his life was full of giving to others without blowing his own trumpet. So, if you will allow me a little indulgence, because I'm getting a bit emotional now. Mr. Khushwant Singh used to live in Sujan Singh Park, and I spent my early childhood very near that. And many times I would ride my bicycle, I will go near that circle near his house just to have a glimpse of that man. The man was one of the top journalists. When he was given the task of editing Illustrated Weekly, he turned Illustrated Weekly into a best-selling weekly. Before that, Illustrated Weekly was something which you read when you visited a barber shop or when you visited a dentist shop. And when he took over, Illustrated Weekly became a part of every household. And when he left, Illustrated Weekly went back to the dentist shop, and it went back to the barber shop. The circulation nosedived, because he was able to take up subjects which were close to readers. He was the first one who started talking about pollution. When I remember in one of the Illustrated Weeklies there were 3 articles which were devoted to noise pollution, water pollution, air pollution. I'm talking of the late 70s. Maybe I'm getting the dates wrong, but it was not very fashionable to write about pollution then. So, and this is something about Mr. Khushwant Singh, he had lot of knowledge in various fields, and this is what kept the interest of the readers alive, that he would talk about various fields and he would talk in a common man's language. So this is my remembrance of Khushwant Singh, and I would like to pay tribute to him. If you see, as a person, he led a simple life. He never wanted unnecessary attention. Whatever attention he received from his fans. And I know that there was a point in time when he was receiving 250 letters, his fan mails. I'm talking of the hard copy letters. I'm not talking of the email. He was receiving it from his fans all over the world. And yet, if you see his son, like his son is Rahul Singh. He never promoted his son. He never promoted his son or patronized his son or helped him to like normally people who like to help their children, people who are celebrities. And his son Rahul Singh also made a mark. He was the editor of Illustrated Weekly, and he's also a journalist and a writer. So this is my memory about Khushwant Singh. He was not afraid to speak his mind. If you remember, he supported emergency. When everybody was speaking against emergency, he supported emergency, and he did not do it out of fear, but he truly felt that India needed a very disciplined hand, and India needed somebody with an iron rod to govern. And he spoke openly about his appreciation of Sanjay Gandhi and Maneka Gandhi, and believe you me, he did not do it out of fear, but he wrote about it because he felt so. When there was extremism in Punjab, he was one of the very few Sikh writers who spoke so openly against terrorism, against those who were propagating violence in Punjab, and yet he was the first one to return all the decorations he got when Blue Star happened. So he was the man who always called spade a spade. What he thought a spade. Sometimes, sometimes he called a shovel a spade. But then he thought it was a spade and he called it a spade.
So sometimes he looked at a spade in a way which was different than others. And it is really remarkable the kind of life which Khushwant Singh ji led. और उनका अपना पर्सनैलिटी चाहे रिलीजियस किस्म का न रहा हो, पर उन्होंने जो सिखिज्म पर 2 वॉल्यूम लिखे हैं वो आज भी रेफर किए जाते हैं एज द मोस्ट ऑथेंटिक वे which we have with us to understand Sikhism. And he was definitely a very sought after writer by many publications, and at one point of time he was writing columns in so many magazines that one would wonder how he manages to get that much time. And his book on the Sikhs is not only commendable, but it also brought many invitations his way to go out and speak about Sikhism. And as Sudhir just mentioned, in 1984, he was really unhappy with the way government handled the affairs at Swarn Mandir. So he returned the Padma Bhushan, which was conferred on him in 1974. So if you have anything that you want to share about any anecdote wherein either you interacted with him or any of his writing that inspired you, if you want to share that, do join in the conversation. The next segment of this Insight Tonight today would also begin with remembrance of Khushwant Singh ji, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Is your child ready for school? For kids 3 to 7 years, the Tutoring Academy teaches preschool and early elementary school children to use creativity, communication, critical thinking, and teamwork skills through fun and interactive learning. Children explore subjects such as biology, astronomy, earth science, as well as subjects not usually covered in early childhood learning, like economics, technology, speech, drama, and art. Science projects, critical thinking, experiments, and communication skills are weekly classes, Saturdays and Sundays. The Tutoring Academy's program, held once a week for 2 hours, gives your child the necessary skills to succeed in school and in life. Gifted and talented test scores improve, develop speaking and critical thinking skills. They build confidence, improve concentration. There are convenient weekend classes. Help your child be a little genius. Call now for a free trial class at 718-441-3762, 9800 62nd Drive in Rago Park, New York, 11374. www.tutoringacademy.com.
Success tomorrow starts today.
Your eyes are the windows to your world. Trust your eyes to Malik Eye Care. This is where ophthalmology, optometry, and opticianry join under one roof to meet all your vision needs. Our offices house a plethora of state-of-the-art lasers and diagnostic equipment. I'm a board-certified ophthalmologist and a member of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and also a fellow of the American College of Physicians and Surgeons. I've done thousands of ocular surgeries to restore vision to many patients. Consult our offices to see how we can improve your vision. We look forward to seeing you at your next appointment.
Consult Swami Manjeet for accurate horoscope reading, palm reading, and likelihood of love, marriage, children, business, health, immigration, and court cases. Swamiji removes black magic, gives protection, and helps in removing various problems by powerful holy mantras and meditation on God. Free check of black magic. Excellent results. Call 718-358-2901. The number again, 718-358-2901.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Himali Spiritual Center is the gateway to liberation from pain, misery, and suffering. Here, through religion, meditation, yoga, worship, and gem therapy, all troubles are treated. Himali Spiritual Center, 718-887-2929.
When considering where to host your wedding banquet or party, consider the Lafayette Yard Hotel, conveniently located in central New Jersey. The Lafayette Yard Hotel offers a beautifully appointed grand ballroom with seating for up to 400 people and over 150 guest rooms, including 4 suites and ample, safe, enclosed parking in the adjacent garage. The Lafayette is truly your best choice. Call Ibrahim at 404-491-5674 or 609-421-4000 and make an appointment today.
वेलकम बैक टू इनसाइड टुनाइट शो व्यास और हम बात कर रहे हैं खुशवंत सिंह जी की। जब खुशवंत सिंह जी को याद करते हैं जिन्होंने कल हमारा साथ छोड़ दिया, वो 99 बरस के थे. He was 99 and he was keeping quite healthy and very active and agile for his age. And as you know, he wrote a book called Delhi, a novel. And today we are joined by someone from Delhi talking about Khushwant Singh's life. I have the presence of Sudhir Bisht from Delhi. We have connected with him via Skype. So sometimes you get a feeling that this person is appearing slightly different. But it was important to talk about Khushwant Singh Ji with someone who has not only followed his writings, but is passionate about the contribution of this great man who always was not as glamorous as he later on started appearing. He also, in order to survive, did serve as the editor of a government publication called Yojana. Many of you might have never heard about such a publication, or even if you did, it is not very well circulated. And I think during the course of understanding life and doing various odd jobs in order to survive, though he came from a very well-to-do family, he probably gave a deep thought to what is it that attracts people's attention. And the understanding of being intellectual and at the same time catering to the interest of the masses, he managed to develop that fine balance of this recipe, and probably that connected him with people to the extent that, as we heard, he used to receive over 250 handwritten letters from his readers across the globe. That was a remarkable achievement, and how he did all this while maintaining that image which made him appear like a rebel, because he was unconventional in his approach, and he was very open in talking about women. And actually one of his book was called The Company of Women. He also served as a member of Rajya Sabha from 1980 to 1986. And indeed, he was close to Indira Gandhi, but he was also close to the founder of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And when partition happened, the wonderful book, A Train to Pakistan, was also written by him. He was actually called by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who wanted him to settle down in Pakistan, and he was offered one important position since he had done his law. So he was given the opportunity of serving as a judge in Pakistan. So that he declined, and he joined, of course, he was a part of India, and he served at Indian Embassy, probably in London, and there was something which brought him back to India. So talking about this rebellious aspect of Khushwant Singh, so Sudhir, what would you say about this side of Khushwant Singh which made him appear like a rebel?
You know, he came from a very affluent family, and his father was a very rich man, and he was trained to be a lawyer, because that is what probably his father wanted him to be. And he says he was not a very good lawyer. He realized it, and he went into the field of journalism. So for somebody from coming to a very affluent family who could he made a mark of his own. I think Khushwant Singh was a rebel with a cause. He was not a rebel without a cause. Many people talk about the open use of sexuality in his books, but but the way he depicted it, it was never dirty. It was never dirty. It is like he was something like somebody like just like in a Raj Kapoor movie. In a Raj Kapoor movie, who could portray nudity on screen in such a aesthetic with such a great aesthetic sense. Khushwant Singh would always be remembered as a rebel without cause. Also because when he said with malice towards one and all, see, malice is the essential theme of life. If you remember, I remember a saint he was delivering a lecture, and he said, there is a malice in all of us. It is sometimes good to bring out that malice, and Khushwant Singh always brought out that malice towards anyone he was never personal. He was never personal, and he was attacking the traits of a person and not the personality itself. And I know for sure, if you see Khushwant Singh ji was never a fan of L.K. Advani, and he was in fact he was very critical of L.K. Advani, and yet Advani ji was his admirer and his friend, and he used to come to his house and he used to receive him very warmly. So while he was a rebel in his writings, and he was not a man who would always stand at ceremony. I like to tell you something, because I have read it. I have studied Khushwant Singh very deeply. There was a time when Prime Minister's wife visited Khushwant Singh along with some other very other cultured people, very refined people, and Khushwant Singh must go to sleep at a particular time, and he would tell his guests, please leave, I want to sleep. See, where will you find somebody who it's not considered polite, but he lived by his rules and everybody knew it. But because Prime Minister's wife was there, and he was a great friend of Manmohan Singh ji, another gentleman, and so eventually he had to tell his wife, and I quote him, he says, "Main ononu kiya, Gursharan hun tu ja." That means I told her, please go so that I can sleep. So here was a man who did not bother how the other person will. He had his own rules, and he stuck to his rules.
Wonderful.
In his day-to-day life, in his daily life, he would have his Patiala peg of scotch.
So we'll miss Khushwant Singh, but of course he will always inspire journalists and authors, and the commendable work, and also a kind of candid approach towards analyzing various facts. That tradition enriches us, and Khushwant Singh also offered the gift of the tradition of trying to understand truth with your own conviction. There was, of course, certain glamour about him, and he was a remarkable person. And talking about the reference where he criticized Advani through his writing, but he was still friendly with Lal Krishna Advani ji, and presently, as we are in the middle of the humdrum of national elections happening in India, there is another important side or wing that we look at India. तो हम बॉलीवुड को याद किए बिना भारत की बात नहीं कर पाते हैं, और बल्कि कई बार तो हमारे बहुत सारे उत्सवों में, कई सारे कार्यक्रमों में जिस तरह से भारतीय संस्कृति को याद किया जाता है, उसका सीधा सीधा संबंध बॉलीवुड सॉन्ग्स के साथ होता है. एंड व्हेन बॉलीवुड इज प्लेइंग सच एन इम्पोर्टेंट रोल, तो फिर पॉलिटिक्स में भी बॉलीवुड की प्रेजेंस इज natural. There are many films which are inspired by Bollywood, and at the same time many Bollywood stars have also entered into politics. But when we look at the contribution and significance, there was a time when people who were in films were not taken seriously. But gradually things are changing. They are invited to address at many important academic institutions. That includes Yale University or Harvard University also. But what has been the role of actors in politics? So when I asked Sudhir to respond to his analysis, his take on, is there any significant contribution from actors in our Indian politics? So this is what Sudhir has for us, I think, in response to this question.
Yeah, thank you for this question. It's very interesting. If I recall, I was in class 1 and I was living in Faridabad, and at that point in time in elections, Mr. Nanda, who was the chairperson of escorts, he was fighting the election, and his Samdhi Raj Kapoor kind of did canvassing for him. And he never won, of course. So actually, politicians have also been drawn towards cricket and cinema, because these are two very, very powerful space in India, which are looked upon, because those who practice in these two fields, they have millions of fans. So politicians are always attracted towards actors or cricketers, because they would like to leverage their friends who are big actors. I recall Devanand also had floated his party. I think it was called Insaf Party, and it disbanded without a whimper. And then if you go back, Rajesh Khanna successfully contested. I think he defeated Shatrughan Sinha in New Delhi. That is how the success. And after that, Shatrughan Sinha, of course, has been very successful. He tasted 2 defeats. Then he went to Patna, and he has been a 2-time MP from Patna. And Vinod Khanna has been a 3-time MP, and he had been a minister. And Shatrughan Sinha also was a minister in the Union Cabinet. So some actors and actresses have tasted success also in politics. But the basic thing is that when Amitabh Bachchan contested against Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna, many people called it unethical and hitting below the belt. You know why? Because Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna had left Congress, and he was in the Lokdal or Janata Party, and he was a very seasoned, mature leader who at one time thought he would want to become Prime Minister of India, or at least a Deputy Prime Minister. And when Amitabh Bachchan was contested against him, people thought it was a tad unfair. It is said that Hemwati Nandan Bahuguna's own daughter, Rita Joshi Bahuguna, who was studying in college, when Amitabh Bachchan came near the street of the house or the koti they were living in, she too ran out to take the autograph of Amitabh Bachchan. So, what could the father do? So, such is the craze of actors and actresses. You know that this gentleman Sanjay Dutt tried to contest on Samajwadi Party ticket, but he could not because he found out he was not eligible. So we have had successful people who have tried to contest. Even if you take the stars of the television world, Nitish Bhardwaj, who was the Lord Krishna successfully contested the elections in MP. The Deepika Chilka or Chahila, who was used to play the role of Sita Mata, she also contested elections and won. So just like politicians are attracted towards actors and actresses, sometimes fading actors and actresses are also drawn towards politics. So it is a symbiotic relationship. Both live off each other and both feed off each other. Now we hear that Hema Malini is going to be a candidate for from Mathura. Now I don't know how many times does she know about, does she discharge her duties as an MP because she was in Rajya Sabha earlier? Or does she really contribute to the process of legislative business or the business of lawmaking? But she's able to gather votes and capture votes. But Ashokji, I must tell you that politicians, by and large, they have not been able to do justice when they have gone into public domain. Govinda won an election from Maharashtra, and he did such a pathetic job. He never visited his constituency. He did not open his mouth in the Lok Sabha, that he did not have the heart to contest again. So there have been cases like this. Dharmendra contested, I think, from either Ganganagar or Bikaner, and after 1 year there were posters of Dharmendra missing from the constituency because he never visited the constituency. And we have seen Rajesh Khanna. He used to treat whenever he went to address election rallies, he wanted people to applaud at each and every sentence as he was delivering a dialogue in a cinema. So I personally don't think that actors and actresses have contributed to polity or to the business of lawmaking or legislature. But
so how actors have done in politics, whether they just added to the glamour या सचमुच उनके द्वारा जिस तरह से शासन होना चाहिए, कुछ नए मुद्दे जनता तक पहुंच पाए, ये एक सवाल है जो अभी हमारे बीच में है. But now when we are back to the next part of this program, we'll be talking about how when Shatrughan Sinha went to file his nomination at Patna Sahib, there were people who demonstrated and they were unhappy with him. Similarly, there were some protests against Kiran Kher. So this time around, Bharatiya Janata Party has attracted a lot of actors. And so we'll talk about that in today's Insight Tonight, right after this break.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Himali Spiritual Center is the gateway to liberation from pain, misery and suffering. Here, through religion, meditation, yoga, worship and gem therapy, all troubles are treated. Himali Spiritual Center, 718-887-2929.
Namaste, Salam Alaikum and Sat Sri Akal. My name is K.D. Singh Sani and I represent Sani Accounting Services. We prepare individual and business tax returns year round. We are also IRS authorized e-file service provider. We offer excellent services at very affordable rates. I have 30 years of experience in small business consultation and management. I will be grateful for your business and you will be our satisfied customer. Thank you.
I am your immigration attorney, Michael Fulwani.
And I'm your immigration attorney, David Nachman.
Keep watching us, our program on immigration and you.
For the latest information, updates, and developments about immigration law.
Every Saturday at 8:15 p.m.
And wake up to us on Sunday at 11:45 a.m.
Consult Swami Manjeet Ji for accurate horoscope reading, palm reading, and likelihood of love, marriage, children, business, health, immigration, and court cases. Swamiji removes black magic, gives protection and helps in removing various problems by powerful holy mantras and meditation on God. Free check of black magic. Excellent results. Call 718-358-2901. The number again, 718-358-2901.
Shri Durga Mata astrologer and palm reader. World famous astrologer Pandit Baba Sai Ram is in New York. Pandit predicts past, present and future. Intending person can inquire about education, love, marriage, husband and wife problems, children, health, court case and many other personal problems. Pandit can bring the loved ones back, and also he is a specialist in removal of black magic and evil spirits. Call for appointment. Jackson Heights, Queens, New York. Mobile number 646-517-8368, 347-657-3822.
वेलकम बैक टू इनसाइड टुनाइट विद अशोक व्यास। और आज के कार्यक्रम के समापन की तरफ जब हम बढ़ रहे हैं, देन वी आर गोइंग टू बी टॉकिंग अबाउट हाउ सम फिल्म स्टार्स हैव डन इन पॉलिटिक्स। स्क्रीन पर हमने देखा उन्होंने बहुत सारी तालियां जुटाई और इंडीड उनके हिस्से में बहुत सारे वोट भी आए। एंड वन एक्टर हु नॉट ओनली successfully made the transition from a villain to hero, and then he went on to become a politician to the extent that he also served as Health Minister of India. Now Shatrughan Sinha, when went back to file his nominations at Patna Sahib, there were some uncomfortable situations that led to a kind of sort of a fight between two groups of volunteers of Bharatiya Janata Party. He was being shown black patti by one group, and then another went on and thrashed them like they were inspired by one of Shatrughan Sinha's old film. What it was, we do not know much, but let's try and see in what way, Sudhir, how you see Shatrughan Sinha and his presence on the political scene.
As an actor, I'm a great fan of Shatrughan Sinha and Virodh Khanna. Especially Shatrughan Sinha, he came across as somebody who was typically not a good-looking guy, and he was a top villain, and he was among the top 3 heroes. And he has his own mannerism, and he was Minister for Shipping. He was Minister of Shipping in the Vajpayee government, and his pet project was how to ensure that he wanted enough draft in Allahabad so that because there was a time when we were having shipping movement, commercial ship movement from Allahabad, Varanasi, Mughalsarai up till Kolkata, and he wanted to revive that. So I think he was a bit serious. I think he was also a health minister. So as a minister, I think I would say that he was one of the serious actors who were serious as ministers also. But you are right, as you said, Mr. Shatrughan Sinha is a die-hard loyalist of Lal Krishna Advani ji, and he had been making snide remarks at Narendra Modi, and it is an open fact that Shatrughan Sinha, Shatrughan Sinha contested against Shekhar Suman, who is a TV personality, and he has been an actor, and Shatrughan Sinha defeated him. And I think Shatrughan Sinha has not been nursing his constituency. Although Ashokji, I have a feeling that the job of the member of parliament is not really to nurse his constituency, but to be looking at the national issues, and managing the Nala and the other things should be left to MLA and the corporators. But he had been largely missing from Patna Sahib. And perhaps maybe those guys were demonstrating against giving him a renomination, but he's also extremely popular. He's the pride of Bihar. He's the pride of Bihar. There was a point in time when entire Bharatiya Janata Party was moving away from Nitish Kumar, and he was actually appreciating Nitish Kumar. At that time, there was no formal split then. So he's so popular that it's very difficult for the party to sideline him or to deny him a ticket. At least till this date, he is so popular. So he has his own band of supporters. So that is what must have happened. And Shatrughan Sinha is a slightly controversial person also, who sometimes goes overboard in his criticism, and sometimes he goes overboard about his appreciation. But he's a colorful man.
Indeed, he is a colorful man, and as an actor also, he probably feels and acts with the conviction that there is no one better than him, and that kind of call it a confidence when it is reflected in his remarks in the field of politics. Sometimes it is not politically correct, but he is known to speak his mind. And another lady who has recently become very active with Bharatiya Janata Party is Kiran Kher, and her husband Anupam Kher and she, both of them, when reached Chandigarh. Chandigarh, by the way, has become a place which is attracting a lot of glamour. So there is another lady who is contesting this Chandigarh seat from Aam Aadmi Party. Earlier, the ticket by Aam Aadmi Party was given to Savita Bhatti. Later on, she declined to continue, and then Kul Panag is there. So now, when we look at Kiran Kher, who is also official spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, Sudhir, how do you see the presence of this graceful Kiran Kher on the political horizon?
If you look at Kiran Kher, if you look at her credentials, she's a very charming woman, and she comes across as a very sincere and a straightforward person. She's very articulate. She speaks very fluent and very good Hindi, and equally at ease with English. She's very well read, and she's a great communicator. And people relate with her maybe because of her screen image, where she plays a mother, or she plays somebody who generally is a good person. She's well read. She speaks so eloquently, and she has a even at this age she has a very good dimpled smile. So she's a star, and she connects with people very easily. And I'm sometimes, when I saw her on the television for the first time, she was articulating her views on Anna Hazare movement, and I was very surprised that somebody who is so busy with day-to-day schedule, somebody who's a judge on 3 reality shows, is so well informed and is able to relate so well. So it is very natural that she was inducted into Bharatiya Janata Party, and she has been given a ticket because, see, you need people who defend you on television. If you see like Nirmala Sitharaman, she speaks very well on television, and she's become a household name. Same is true for Kiran Kher. So also we are talking about, bringing more women to parliament. So what are the women we want to bring to the parliament? Are we bringing rubber stamps like Rabari Devi or what have you? Or you're bringing serious intellectual people who have achieved excellence in some field, and you think they can replicate that in the social service, because actually politics is social service. So I don't know why people are protesting, and to say that she's an outsider, I personally don't believe outsider or insider. Our Prime Minister has given an affidavit that he's a resident of Assam. And that is how he, by giving that affidavit, he fought Rajya Sabha election. Because you can represent in Rajya Sabha if you are normally a resident of that state. So he's an outsider. He was an outsider. So there have been many politicians who have been outsiders. And Kiran Kher has studied in Chandigarh actually. She has spent, I think, at least 15 to 16 to 17 years of her childhood in Chandigarh. She is the Kudi from Chandigarh. So I don't know why people are saying outsider. Yes. See, it is like this. Ashokji, you have to look at it like this. Suppose there is a company, let us say, one of my favorite companies, most admired companies, Hindustan Levers Limited. So there is somebody who has been in Hindustan Lever Limited, sales representative, sales supervisor, area manager. But you also find people from other companies joining this company as managing director or as sales director or as vice president sales. So an outsider can come in social service, so-called outsider, and he can fight elections. See, election is also about winnability. It is also about winnability. And Chandigarh, if you see, Chandigarh represents urban elite. So I think it's a very good pick And if there are people who are protesting against her candidature, maybe there are many old karyakarta of Bharatiya Janata Party who have worked very hard, and who are aspiring that they will get ticket. But this is life. This is life. Not everybody who works hard can get tickets, because it is about winnability and how people perceive it.
So winnability is important. Indeed, if you work hard, that doesn't mean that you are going to get the ticket. This is really a wisdom which comes from street, and it's a practical wisdom. Talking about practical wisdom, we think about Aam Aadmi, और आम आदमी पार्टी के बारे में तरह तरह की खबरें आती रही हैं, and some people have criticized Arvind Kejriwal for not living up to his words. उन्होंने कहा कि हमारे जो एमएलए हैं वो एमपी के लिए खड़े नहीं होंगे, फिर राखी सावंत खड़ी हो गई हैं, वो खुद भी शायद लगभग नरेंद्र मोदी के खिलाफ वाराणसी से खड़े होने का मन बना चुके हैं. बहरहाल Monday we are going to have a panel discussion right here where you can also join in, and we'll be talking about how foreign influence is becoming a part of Indian politics. So there'll be political pundits sharing their wisdom with us. But for now, as we have Sudhir Bish from Delhi with us, and as a Delhiite, first-hand impression about the possible success or the presence after national election of Aam Aadmi Party. What do you think, Sudhir, in terms of how Aam Aadmi Party is likely to do in this election?
You know, the Aam Aadmi Party's relevance and popularity is on the wane. I sincerely believe that as time goes by, you know, there are so many things which are happening in Aam Aadmi Party which they said will not happen. If you see Mr. Kejriwal, what was the fight between Kejriwal and Binny? Binny wanted to fight the elections, the member of parliament. He wanted a seat for Lok Sabha, but they said anybody who is an MLA will not contest Lok Sabha elections. Now what is happening? Rakhi Birla is contesting from Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal, who was the chief minister, he himself wants to topple Modi. So, see, what I believe is, see, it's a party of activists, they are street fighters. I personally respect Arvind. I had respect for Arvind Kejriwal, honestly. I still respect him. But, you know, he just like, you know, Yudhishthir used to, in the Kurukshetra, you know, Yudhishthir's Rath, his chariot used to fly 2 inches above the ground. So high was such was Yudhishthir's moral high. We perceived Arvind Kejriwal at the same level, but you know, now his chariot is firmly grounded. Actually, it is even going under the earth. Under the earth. He's showing all desperate measures. Maybe some people may still think, you know, because Arvind Kejriwal is a very persuasive speaker, you know. He's a very persuasive speaker. When he gives an interview, you know, despite his modest appearance, he has an element of hypnotism. He speaks with conviction. So maybe some people who have not seen the working of his colleagues or his party members from close quarters, who have not observed it, they may still be living in the utopian world that, you know, that you know, everyone will be equal, people will get according to what they need, that there will be Ram Raj under Arvind Kejriwal. I don't believe what he is doing increasingly is I think he's just trying to emerge as somebody who will have enough number of seats so that they can play some kind of a role. But I personally don't think, and I have been talking to people. If I check my diary, I spoke to 87 guys who said they voted for Arvind Kejriwal, and almost 80 say they will not vote for his party again. You know, because I was collecting this data for some trying to do a personal research and talking to people. So out of 87, those who voted in the Delhi Assembly elections for Aam Aadmi Party, they said they are not going to vote for Aam Aadmi Party again. So this is my analysis, but my sample size is not a representative sample size, and it is not an ideal sample size, but I rest my case.
छोटे से सैंपल साइज से जो निष्कर्ष सुधीर बिष्ट ने निकाला वो उन्होंने हम तक पहुंचाया, और उनका ख्याल है कि बहुत कम प्रतिशत लोग जिन्होंने पहले आम आदमी पार्टी को चुनने के लिए अपना मत दिया था वो फिर से आम आदमी पार्टी को देंगे. बट अगेन सैंपल साइज वॉज स्मॉल, लेकिन सबसे बड़ा सैंपल साइज जो है वो आपके दिल का है. आप क्या सोचते हैं भारत में हो रही राजनीतिक हलचल के बारे में? सोमवार को आप अपने विचारों के साथ हमें ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. एंड दिस वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट वी डिड एन इंटरव्यू वाया स्काइप फॉर दिस शो, एंड दिस ओपन्स अप अनदर एरिया. इफ यू want to be a part of this show via Skype from some distant place, then you may write to me at ashokv@itegold.com, and we'll connect and figure out in what way your valuable thoughts could become a part of this conversation right here at Inside Tonight with Ashok Vyas. And now the time to wish you a wonderful weekend ahead. Good night. Namaskar.
Consult Swami Manjeet Ji for accurate horoscope reading, palm reading and likelihood of love, marriage, children, business, health, immigration and court cases. Swamiji removes black magic, gives protection and helps in removing various problems by powerful holy mantras and meditation on God. Free check of black magic. Excellent results. Call 718-358-2901. The number again, 718-358-2901.
When considering where to host your wedding banquet or party, consider the Lafayette Yard Hotel, conveniently located in central New Jersey. The Lafayette Yard Hotel offers a beautifully appointed grand ballroom with seating for up to 400 people and over 150 guest rooms, including 4 suites and ample, safe, enclosed parking in the adjacent garage. The Lafayette is truly your best choice. Call Ibrahim at 404-491-5674 or 609-421-4000 and make an appointment today.
Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment, we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policy